Hi, my name's Katie. I'm from Pulmonary. I just wanted to show you guys a course that we created for new incoming pediatric pulmonary fellows. And the idea was to really give them a factual knowledge base so that we could assure before they were starting to handle the scope, interact with patients, et cetera, that everyone had kind of a baseline minimum level of knowledge. So we worked with Dan to actually create a course. And so this is the interface for our course. I'm terrible at this computer. And so as you can see here, the course title is Introduction to Flexible Bronchoscopy. And so we provided some intro and then broke everything down into module content you can see here on the right. And so we sectioned everything out into what we felt like were very small snippets of information with video and audio that were 5 to 10 minutes in length at max. And then we had both pre-test and post-test assessments. So we were able to track people's acquisition of knowledge throughout participation in the course. In terms of thinking about the production process, so we started obviously by outlining what we wanted our content and goals to be, objectives, and then met with Dan and decided what would be the best way to deliver that content. We then went and looked out and saw what was already available and kind of drew from some resources that already existed, so we weren't reinventing the wheel for everything. And then we really focused in on what new content we wanted to create and why it was important to create, how it built upon what was already out there, improved upon that. And then met with Dan to really decide on a tight timeline to be able to produce both video and audio content. And I would say, looking back, the audio portion was really the most challenging aspect of creating this content. So even though we really felt like we knew the material well and had mastered it, really thinking about how to deliver that in a conversational manner, very short snippets of time to really highlight key concepts was a little bit challenging. But Dan and his team are really great at helping you really focus, draft a script that's going to be able to deliver that content in a meaningful way. And so the last thing I'll mention is when thinking about the timeline, our timeline from start to finish for creation of this content was about 6-7 months. I think Dan will agree that that was a little bit too ambitious, a little bit too tight of a timeline. So I would encourage people to probably put things more on a 12-month time period when thinking about creating new course content.
The first known attempt to visualize the larynx may have been made by a Spanish music teacher, singer, and composer, Manuel Garcia. In 1825, he used a dental mirror to assess the physiology of the voice box of his students. His feelings when he saw for the first time how the vocal cords acted while emitting sounds were described to his son as follows. I was most fortunate, for I succeeded almost at once in seeing with my own eyes what I had conceived so long. It gave me such a turn that I felt on the point of collapsing.
Thank you.